You're listening to End of the Reel.
Oh my god!
G'day everyone, we are doing a brand new movie. It is Mac and Me. I'm your host Jared and this is my co-host Ethan.
Hi.
Mac and Me is an awesome film, 1988. Came out, I think it's at 4 or 5 years after E.T. No surprise that we'll get to in a second why I'm saying that. It is also out, I think 3 or 2 years after Out of Africa. That's also important to know because of the music that plays in it.
You have gotten your movies confused.
I did.
Star Crash is the Out of Africa one.
Damn
Jared.
it.
Do you want to start again?
Nah.
Okay.
Keep it in.
Right.
You know the problem? I was listening to Out of Africa and I looked it up today.
It wasn't because Mac and Me is so bland you've forgotten most of it except for the ad bits.
No, I remember most of Mac and Me.
Mac and Me was quite entertaining. Yeah.
Mac and Me was very entertaining. It's
the best McDonald's Coca-Cola ad I've ever seen.
and Skittles.
Yeah. Skittles. Don't forget Skittles.
Like-
'Cause the movie won't make you forget.
This is what I've told people. I've said that this is the perfect form of product placement because it's not product placement. They've made an entire movie about it. Like, isn't
It's
it
so blatant and so in your face. It's not even an ad, really.
Yeah.
It's just a McDonald's movie.
and it's great because they just
Was this their attempt to like do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? You know how that sort of like Transformers and that they're all like basically shows made around toys. And McDonald's was like, let's make a movie just about McDonald's, and we're gonna try and figure out how to make kids want to watch it. Oh, we'll put in a ET ripoff.
Well, they were like, what's big? What's big at the time?
Kids in
E.T..
wheelchairs. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
ET. Sure.
Kids in wheelchairs. Kids in wheelchairs were never big.
Oh, I thought that was the draw card. Because even he is welcome at McDonald's.
Well, they actually get a real kid in a wheelchair in to be the main actor. That's good. That's actually pretty impressive. Most movies wouldn't do that.
Well, they wanted it to be as realistic as possible.
Exactly. When you
Because
think
this
of,
is a down-to-earth, gritty film.
right, when you think of Mac and Me, you think realism. That's
Yeah.
all you think. So, Mac and Me, 1988, it is just unapologetically, it's an ad. It's an ad for McDonald's. And we'll get to it, but when they go to McDonald's, essentially they're walking through a live ad, but they continue acting as themselves.
It's very strange.
So, maybe...
The FBI agents who chase them into the McDonald's and are like
they're just walking
confused
through the...
and stopped by these dancers.
Well, honestly, let's save that. Cause I don't want to start there. That's like 3/4 of the way through the
Yeah.
film. But we'll start at the very start. We get introduced to our
Aliens
aliens. I think it's Mars.
in this weird desert planet. No, I had no idea where it is. Because
I think
I was
it's
looking
Mars.
at the sky and I'm like, I don't know where you can see 4 different planets at once in this solar system. Looks pretty crazy to me.
Well, anyway, the aliens are terrifying. Like,
Their faces
nightmare fuel.
don't move, and the rest of it looks like it's like paint sprayed onto deformed people.
right? It's so hard not to make, but they look like they're from Auschwitz.
If you could imagine Jar Jar
they
Binks' body,
they look like prisoners.
if you could imagine Jar Jar Binks' body, but naked and like
deformed and malnourished.
with bits hanging off,
Really, it's Jar Jar
and
Binks.
the faces are like they're worse than Jar Jar Binks because they don't move and they're tiny and they've got these tiny little open mouths, just wide enough for straws to go into, because they eat everything from straws.
Right, but they look malnourished. They look like they're POWs.
Yeah, they're like
Right.
starving in the desert.
And they're just and then
They're walking around getting water out of rocks.
so yeah, their faces don't really move or have proper emotions or emote in any way. So basically, the only emotions you kind of see come from their eyes, which aren't good anyway.
Oh my
Because
God, the eyes are
only-
terrifying because they never
right?
close.
well, they
don't
only
close
sort of
fully.
close.
Yeah, they
might
sort of half
close.
close, but they don't close properly. The eyes don't move
And their
properly.
mouth
so
is
they look,
permanently in an O shape,
Yeah.
like a fish. And they just also
yeah,
then
kind of like a fish.
the way that they walk,
the mother has these weird bug-eyed ones that sort of pop out.
because they've just got some really skinny person inside the outfits, right?
Yeah,
So the way they also walk isn't normal. They walk and run in the most bizarre fashion ever.
good or bad, these aliens should be killed and
Right.
burnt with fire.
The aliens,
Which actually, you know what, would be ineffective, as we learned.
Yes.
Because they are fireproof.
there's
They are everything but vacuum proof.
oh my god, there's a Yeah, with ET, there's a lot of like jokes like, oh, maybe ET's like the dumb guy from the planet. Like he was kicked out by
Yeah,
the other
who
ET
hasn't seen
guys.
that robot
Yeah,
chicken one where
the
it's
robot chicken one.
look, it's the Dumbo.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
these guys are the dumb ETs.
Yeah,
They're going
they
around.
don't come to Earth by accident in their spaceship. They are sucked up by some sort of Mars rover type thing.
Yeah, so when Mars rover lands, they go around starting tapping it, going, ooh, ooh. What noise do they even make?
They make this weird whistling sound.
Oh yeah, I can't do it. I can't whistle.
They go
Yeah, that's
all
it.
the time,
All the time.
constantly.
There's never even a. Oh no, there was a tiny attempt at communication. I just realized a tiny, but they get sucked up by it, brought home,
No,
and
and the most ridiculous looking effect is this vacuum thing comes off it, starts vacuuming around for samples, and they all get just sucked in. Because they must weigh absolutely nothing. Like,
I
they
don't know. Well, they
stretch into this
stretch.
cartoon-like fashion,
yeah,
and they must have been compressed into this tiny little container. Because later on, when it pops open, they're like, it's the size of like a Coke can or something.
well, they get down to the NASA, whatever, and then they break free.
Because
And
they
then-
have superpowers.
But there's all these NASA guys
Everything
nearby.
they're touching is exploding and flying away.
Somehow they escape. Yeah,
they just walk out.
What is with that?
Okay, so apart from
no, but
Mac,
somehow they interfere with some technology.
they seem to have the power of electricity and plot convenience.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say screenwriter like brain fart ability to just
They,
write in
so
whatever.
the mother, the father, and the older sibling. I don't know
A younger
what
sibling.
gender they are. No,
Isn't
it's an older one. Max,
Oh.
the little one. Yeah, they just sort of walk out and just wander off
Oh
into
my
the
god!
desert.
No, that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You've got all these scenes. You can look at this up too, Mac and me scenes of like the kid, like the family just running, and they look so funny, and they're just running in the desert.
Yeah.
Oh, also, sorry, important. We did also see them on their home planet. They have long straws that they just poke into the ground and suck stuff up.
Yeah, so they're trying to do that on Earth, but of course they can't find any water to suck up. So they're just the whole movie. You just see the family wandering around, starving to death in the desert.
Yeah,
And it's hilarious.
I did have to say because there was a few like weird shots of them just as a naked alien family.
Well, they're
running
playing
in the
like
desert.
serious music and stuff, and it's like, is this some sort of, illegal immigrant allegory or something?
Yeah, that's what I thought
Is
it
there
was.
something more to this? But no, it's just
It's not.
It's just Coke and McDonald's.
They are very dumb aliens from outer space.
Yeah,
You know?
and when they become real Americans, they'll know they should just eat Coke and McDonald's.
Wow. Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for the end of the
Jeez.
film.
Well, yeah. I mean, Coke is one of the most, nutritious substances known to man and all alien kind.
And the
As we
Big
know.
Mac. You
And
got to
the
try
Big
the
Mac.
Big Mac.
Don't forget to wash it down with a nice packet of Skittles.
Just big enough to fit inside your tiny, weird alien mouths.
Right? Because your mouth is always in that constant O shape with it open.
Because it doesn't move.
You know what? Straight up, some dude's gonna try and fuck that.
I gotta say, we were talking about it after watching the movie. Without the really terrible looking aliens, this movie would be okay. Like the rest of it isn't terrible. Like the acting's all alright. The
Oh, the
kids are
actor's good.
fine.
The
The
actor's
mum's
good.
fine. Even the plot's not that bad. It's just a ET ripoff.
Yeah.
The aliens look so terrible.
Yeah, the aliens
That
look scary.
it is just they're scary. Yeah, they're uncanny valley sort of scary.
So Mac doesn't make it out with them, and he leaves. What he does is though he gets into a car crash and gets into this
He's
family's car.
cartoonishly squashed against a car window screen
That was weird.
as he's like getting hit by cars.
I could never.
Which is
figure
why
out
later
these
on he
bits.
can't reach his family because he doesn't want to cross the highway.
Ah.
Yeah, I think that's what was happening.
That's deep.
Yeah,
Really deep.
cars ruin everything apparently.
Well, he finds his way into our main character's car, and that's when we're introduced to the family. I don't know any of the names.
Yeah, the mum's taken the family from Idaho or Ohio or something to California because she's gotten that new job as a Sears checkout woman.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. She works
So,
at Sears.
we got the mum, who I don't know the name, so I'm gonna call the mum.
She's
We got-
fine.
We got
Yeah.
the brother, who's fine also. I don't know his name, so I'm gonna call the brother. And we also have the main character,
Wheelchair kid.
who I'm gonna call Wheels, because he's got
Wheels.
wheelchair.
Yeah, because I don't think they really mentioned the names, or if they did, I was not listening, paying attention. I know there's Debbie and Courtney next door.
Oh, well, there
Because
you go.
because the boys talk about the girls a lot, but that's about it.
Well, they arrive home, and
To their new home.
they get inside. Nothing much happens straight away. The mum, I think, goes to
There's
work.
there's a few strange little interactions every now and again.
Oh.
Like when they first pull up, there's the moving man, and one of them's like throws this package on the floor, and she comes out and goes, "That's my furniture. You got to be careful with that." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry. It's just the travel packaging." And I'm like, "What? Why are you talking about this? It's just weird."
Why did they write that in?
Weird little things. And then they're looking across the road, and there's this little girl in this tent covered in animals.
Yeah, she went full white girl Coachella.
Yeah,
because she's wearing the entire like Indian
headdress. She
Native
is
American, sorry,
culturally appropriating the crap out of that thing.
really hardcore.
And yeah, she's going on about what's she doing?
But I think she's getting in touch with the spirits,
Yeah, and she's got like lizards and stuff crawling over her.
which they're not her lizards, as you pointed out.
Yeah,
so
she never has animals later on, so they must have just come up to her and
so,
are like
well,
hanging out with her.
Maybe she's the pure heart.
I don't know.
I don't know how it works. She's one of the main characters also.
Was that
She's-
Debbie or Courtney Atwater?
She's the younger one,
The younger daughter.
not the one who works at the greatest place
she
on earth.
is the first one to
McDonald's.
actually see the alien,
Yeah.
Mac.
She
and
sees him and
she
is
just
like, "What?"
Okay.
She thinks he's like, a burn victim sort of brother.
Yeah, well, that's one of the funny bits, because later on, Wheels is he's figured out there's something running around the house and is out looking for it, but at this point he thinks it's his brother just messing with him, so he goes out in the backyard. He's like, "Oh, did you see him? I think it's Debbie.
Okay.
Debbie, who knows the alien,
We could
is
call her
there and
Coachella
has seen
girl.
it run around all over the place. It's like, yeah, he's a freaky looking guy. He's like, yeah, that's just my brother. Yeah, he just like, he's a bit strange. He likes to play pranks with me. And she's just like, oh, okay. It's a weird looking brother you got there.
Yeah, well, it's a fair bit of a distance. She probably couldn't really see. I don't
Yeah.
blame her too much.
No, not at
Well,
all.
what happens in that one? Then, for some weird reason, the house is backed onto a hill.
Okay, great house if you've got a kid in a wheelchair, because it's this slanted backyard
That goes
straight
straight
down to a cliff edge.
Right.
And you may have seen this scene from anytime
That
um,
Ant-Man.
the Ant-Man guy is on Conan O'Brien.
Damn it! I
'Cause
always
this
forget
is
his name.
this is the scene he always plays. It's Paul
Rudd.
Rudd. Yeah, anytime Paul Rudd's on Conan, he plays this scene from Mac and Me,
Yeah.
which is just the wheels just flying off the edge of the cliff,
Yeah, and the alien like looking up, going, "Oh."
and eventually deciding to save him.
Yeah, because
Because the aliens seem to have superpowers.
Well, we don't know. The aliens' abilities change all over the place.
Yeah, they're super strong. They're super fast.
but also incredibly slow.
They can
really
control electronic things with their minds.
dumb sometimes.
And yet,
They can also just have stuff blow up by
Yeah.
looking at something.
and yet they're from just an empty field where they dug water out of the ground.
I don't know. Nothing makes any sense.
But
Yeah, so Max saves Wheels by swimming underneath, saving him. And then, like, that's when Wheels is trying to tell everyone about the alien. No one's believing him. The doctor's just like, okay, crazy kid.
I love how the doctor just gives him sedatives the minute he tells him what actually
Straight away,
happened.
gives him a whole heap of sedatives. He's
It's
like,
okay, kid. You're in California now. You're fine.
yeah, you're going to be a real American. Drugs. Lots of opioids.
Mm.
But the next scene then is, it's just with Wheels. I think it's only him at home. I think.
No, the brother's at home.
brother's
yeah.
at home. Okay, the
as
mum's
he,
not
as
there,
he
though.
wheels
Oh,
out
no, she
because he
is.
hears something, and this drill comes through the wall,
Giant drill
almost
bit.
hitting his head a couple of times.
Right, and
He
then
rolls out, and the whole house has been like,
no, then the circular saw goes through the wall. So Mac is playing with a giant drill, almost killing the kid.
but
and then
why
a circular
is he doing
saw.
any of this?
Right, but wait, then now it gets weird. Then a circular saw, and you think that's pretty weird. But that was still a point when I went aliens, right?
Yeah.
But then he goes into this next room. We were confused because we haven't really. being shown the whole
I
house.
get that Mac wants to get to his parents, but why is he rearranging their house all the time?
No, but he didn't just rearrange that room.
He trashed it.
He brought in the outside. Like, that's why it was all dirt, but not okay. When I'm saying it's dirt inside and plants, it's not like messy dirt inside a plant. It looked like someone had
Like a Zen garden sort of thing.
yeah,
with the
someone had
sand,
set
yeah?
up like Zen garden and all this stuff inside. Like, I didn't actually realize that's not the way it was meant to be. I thought, oh, that's just like the mum having she just
Some
likes
sort
it
of
like
weird
this.
garden, they sort of
But
indoor
yeah,
thing.
but then she runs in and goes, "Oh my god, everything's wrecked," and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Why is there all these plants?" And so I was like, "Oh, okay, we didn't even know."
And she automatically jumps to the assumption that Wheels has done this, and you're like, how could this kid in a wheelchair? We've seen him get around pretty handily, but there is no way he could do half of this stuff
They
by
thought he
himself.
rearranged an entire room.
How
and
did he
brought
dig up
this
all these
dirt
plants and
inside.
bring them in?
It was such a weird thing to do.
But it's never explained why the alien is tormenting these people.
You know what's strange? It actually makes a lot more sense to just have like two holes in the wall from the drill and the circular saw, and she would have been like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" That makes a lot more
but
sense.
Bringing in the outdoors and making this new backyard thing is weird.
Really weird. No, kind of unexplained because we don't know why Mac does it.
Yeah.
Is that the point? Does it?
He keeps making these weird flower things out of the Coke bottles he's been drinking.
So I think, yeah. When does Wheels realize that Mac likes Coke? Does he see him do it?
I don't remember if there's a certain point or if he
think
just
he must
notices
see it.
that someone keeps drinking all the Coke because they keep buying more Coke and showing it to the screen.
He's Coke's drunk in the car to begin with.
Yeah.
And
then all the Coke
somewhere
bottles
else.
keep getting drunk and stuff.
So Wheels sets up the most basic ever like trap, and it's so funny actually. What it is, it's a Coke can on top of a
TV sort of thing.
lever thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if you touch the lever, it dings a bell,
Yeah.
right? And Mac doesn't just set it off. This was so funny. Mac goes over to the Coke can, picks it up, takes a drink, and then keeps
Yeah,
hitting
and
it.
it just keeps slamming the
keeps
alarm.
slamming
yeah.
the alarm, going ding ding.
But
ding,
then he
ding.
sees the trail of straws leading
Right.
off because he's obsessed with straws as well.
Yeah.
He keeps turning them into flower things.
So he sees the straws, follows that. Well, we learned why he turns them into flowers, but it doesn't make any sense till far later.
Yeah.
I know, right?
His
I only
whole-
put that together now.
Yeah, the whole time Mac is sort of communicating with his family through whistles, but they can't get to each other.
Yeah,
But I think the family is describing their surroundings
but
to
he
him.
knows perfectly where they are.
Oh, amazingly
But they're
well.
not up to the windmills yet. At that point in the movie, they haven't made it to the windmills in California. So the reason he likes the straws and he turns them into flower petal things
Yeah.
is to symbolize the windmills, okay? But the family's not up to the windmills yet.
Well, that's later anyway.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. No, but why is he following the line of straws?
Because his dad's got all the straws. I thought that was like for the water thing.
Ah, okay. I thought you meant the windmill.
No. The flower windmills don't come until later, I think.
Well,
Although, yeah, they don't make any sense at all.
He follows the straws, and then Wheels comes out with a vacuum cleaner, which I don't know why Wheels thought a vacuum cleaner would be the perfect weapon to capture him.
Because
But
he's seen the script and he knows
Some-
that the vacuum
somehow
is
he
the only
knew.
thing that can get
Well,
them.
actually, he gives the wheel. Okay, at this point, Debbie had to come inside, and he gave the vacuum to Debbie to hold. So Debbie's holding this vacuum, sucks it up, and then of course
She immediately starts to fly all over the house.
yeah, because apparently you fly.
Because electric things make things fly. Yeah.
The alien comes out, the brother comes in. Oh my god, there's an alien.
The alien escapes and the mother comes in. I gotta say, the mother's reaction to all this is great. She just automatically assumes her son is like insane, but just rolls with it. She's like, okay, we're gonna have to get you therapy later, but I need to go to work. Okay,
Yeah, the mum just
You're
wants to go to
clearly
work.
crazy, and I'm very upset, but I need to go to work.
I like that though. I like the mum's response.
She's just over it. She just acts like both her sons come up and say there's a weird alien thing that's wrecking the house, and she's just like, whatever. I'm gonna have to get you therapy at some point.
Well, I think she needs to.
Yeah,
Because
they
he's
clearly need therapy anyway.
wrecking the house, seeing aliens. It's not good.
He's jumped off. They think he tried to kill himself on the cliff.
That's
It's a
that's
bit messed up.
unreasonable. That's not the kid's fault that you built a house on a giant hill and he's He's got a
And we see
wheelchair.
later, like, there are houses that are lower down. Why did
Well,
they choose the highest point
The
to,
next,
to build this
one
house?
of the next scenes is actually my favorite scenes in the entire movie.
The exercise run.
Oh, the exercise run.
Because
Best scene
because
in
to
the
display
movie.
good morals, McDonald's has sponsored a movie with healthy exercise and fun and healthy eating at
Right.
McDonald's.
So the mum goes for a run with wheels, and he goes for a roll.
But it is just like an exercise video. It's just the two of them running around for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're
just
having
rolling and running
They're
next to
having
each
great
other.
fun. They're having
Yeah.
great fun, and then out of nowhere, Mac comes out, and Mac is for some reason in an what are they?
Like one of those
Electric
toy cars, yeah.
But because he's kind of big, it's
Like a toddler-sized one.
yeah, you know the one toddlers get into. We saw them earlier on for no reason. I thought it was for no reason. I even pointed it out. I said,
Yeah.
"Why are there these kids with toy cars
But
driving
he's like
in the driveway?"
supercharged it, so it's flying around.
So
Because I think he wants to try and like zoom across the freeway to get to his parents.
well, at this point, I thought he was trying to catch up to them.
No. Hey,
Ah.
this is the thing. This is like 40 minutes into the film. Usually by now, the kid and the alien would start to bond.
No, but the
But
song
they don't.
makes them bond.
It's ridiculous
No,
how
I
long it
think
takes
he's
for the
after-
kids and the alien to get
He
together.
is after them because the song is about Mac and the kid.
No, the song is about the kid living in a wheelchair because it's all about he's trying to belong and stuff. Isn't
No,
it?
it's like it was a song like "Take me with you wherever you go."
Yeah, I thought that was about the kid and the mom.
I thought that was about Mac trying to
There are a lot of
get to the
layers
kid.
in this film. No, he's not trying to get to the kid.
Well,
He flies past the kid
no, they fly towards the kids, then he flies off the road.
to the freeway.
Okay, I do see to the well. Anyway,
Well, the reason he flies off the road is because he's being chased by like a dozen dogs.
there are a lot of stray dogs in California. Apparently,
in this neighborhood, everyone has like a yappy dog.
we're in like Pasadena or something, and lots of dogs, lots of hills, and just yeah. So it's great though because we keep cutting between Wheels and his mum running, and Mac being chased by lots of dogs, and the song is just not fitting. It's "Take me with you."
You got really obsessed with this
wherever
song.
you go, and then you see Mac fly off the road towards the freeway, and he flies off, smashes into a tree, and then he's up in a tree. It's still playing the song. He's up in a tree,
he's stuck in there.
surrounded by
we
all
watch
these
him
dogs.
for like a minute getting
Yeah.
chased, but getting attacked by
We
dogs.
just see him up in a tree, surrounded by these dogs, and it keeps cutting back to them, Wheels running and having fun, and take
because
me
they're
with
exercising
you.
like you should. That's
I
how you
loved
stop
it.
being fat. It's not McDonald's that makes you
The
fat.
music
it's
was
not
so wrong,
exercising.
but it was perfect. It was so wrong, but so right. Because really, if this was any other movie, you would have music like dun 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 dun, dun you know, like I'm not Indiana Jones. You
actual
wouldn't copy
exciting
it.
music.
But you know,
well,
you-
in a regular movie, I'd understand what was happening. Like I had to piece together that he was trying to get to his parents.
Yeah, but
I didn't get
that's the
anything.
point where you put like dun 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 as like the dogs are chasing the car or the electric car of Mac. Mac's trying to make it out dun 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 dun.
You know-
That's it. You don't put a weird love song there.
Thinking about it, it's like I didn't understand what was happening. And usually in movies where you have aliens that don't talk, the reason you have the kids find them so early on is so that they can explain what the alien wants. But for like 50 minutes in this film, I have no idea what the alien wants because all it does is look around going
yeah.
all the time. I have no idea what that means.
Well, they give
or
it Coke a lot.
Why is it trying to smash the house down? Why is it trying to run across the road all the time?
Well, I think after that they drop the mum off at work, right? Then they get home.
Yeah.
Then I think
The-
for no reason
Mac
the alien just comes
Mac
back.
has had enough.
Yeah.
They walk in and Mac is just sitting there watching TV, drinking Coke, and he's just, I don't care anymore.
So then
whatever.
Debbie, the brother, and Wheels, they all decide to go to find Debbie's older sister. That's why they go to McDonald's.
I can't remember why they go.
That's why. It's because the older sister's there.
Yeah.
So they...
Well, they decide to hop in a van. Well, okay,
well,
so
actually, Mac does...
Mac hands them. Mac has made like a giant diorama of windmills.
Right.
He's handed them ads and he's handed them pictures of horses. And I couldn't figure out why this was. And the people in the film couldn't figure out why either. And it's like, but it doesn't make sense. What we find out in a bit is that what has happened is I think the parents have, in great detail, explained exactly their surroundings. And Mac has been able to find pictures of horses and stuff without knowing what a horse is.
Yes.
They've found pictures of horses, and there's a giant billboard, and he's found the exact same ad. Like, how do you... how do they put that across without, like,
Aliens.
any... How does he know any of this stuff? How can he
Aliens.
find the ad in the picture
This is when
just
you
from
need,
having it described to you?
This is when you need that meme from Ancient Aliens. The guy who just goes, aliens.
Yeah.
That's it. But,
This is when they finally get to McDonald's.
well,
During their chase,
there's
the
also-
FBI starts to chase them.
I was going to say, yeah, we forgot to mention, well, not forgot to mention,
Some
but
of the hardest working FBI agents I have ever seen. Because these guys start chasing the kids on foot from the house. They end up running through shopping malls. They run through McDonald's. They run like halfway.
there was a 10-minute
this
scene of
California,
them running,
basically.
basically.
Yeah.
But
At
yeah.
no point do they stop. They're keeping up with a van going at like 80 miles an hour.
We forgot to mention that there has been like the FBI sort of snooping around a little bit, one
Yeah.
or two scenes, and also like we do cut back a lot to the parents just walking in the desert, which was hilarious every single
I
time.
gotta
they
say,
do
this
that.
is one of the movies though where I'm like, why don't they just tell the government that they've got these aliens?
You can't trust the government.
But that's what they do at
Have
the end,
you
and the government's
seen-
fine. They're really friendly
you-
with the alien.
have
They
you-
just wanted to help the whole time.
Well, have you seen ET?
I haven't
Have you
actually. I haven't seen the whole
ET?
thing.
You can't trust the government.
They're walking around with their walkie-talkies.
Yeah, they're wearing their suits,
Mm-hmm.
those squares.
Although I wouldn't trust the police,
The-
the local sheriffs.
Well, the police aren't.
They're
that
a
bad.
little really in the alternate cut.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, in the normal cut, not as bad. Alternate cut, pretty bad.
Yeah.
And okay, well, what happens is then they go to meet the sister at McDonald's, right? So as they're even pulling up into the parking lot, there's all these
Hip-looking guys.
right,
And
they're
little
all
kids.
They're all dancing. Even
Yeah.
at this point, they're kind of dancing. They're just choreographed dancing outside, and you think that's kind of weird.
Maybe there's a
right?
dance troupe practicing outside of McDonald's.
So they go in. Mac does his creepy
Mac is
stretchy
dressed
arm.
as a teddy bear in the weirdest.
Oh,
It looks like
I forgot.
if you've seen Dwight put on the doll's face from that episode
Yeah.
where he's doing the Hannibal Lecter thing.
Oh yeah.
It looks like that with a bear face instead,
Because the
you can
eyes are
see
cut
its
out.
eyes sort of moving in the
So
background.
you see the worst bit of Mac, which is
Yeah.
his eyes. But
His
he,
cold, dead eyes.
he also does a scene where, for some reasons, they have super stretchy arms, which they can use to extend as far as they want.
Yeah.
So he stretches out a massive arm and steals this kid's drink, and this kid does the funniest face.
He's the only one who's shocked. He's like, why has this thing stolen my coke? While all the other kids are like laughing and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, what is happening?
Oh, also McDonald's is that McDonald's like
McDonald's is full of every sort of person possible. There's like there are footballers, there are people in business suits. It's like every demographic is shown.
everyone's there because everyone can have good fun at McDonald's.
Yeah.
But no, the Macca's character,
Actual
Mr. McDonald.
Ronald is there. and
Ronald
he actually
McDonald's
talks
there.
to them and he knows their names.
Because Ronald McDonald comes up and is like, "Oh hey!" And then everyone, what starts the dancing?
It just organically, they just start getting up and dances. The only
This is funny though.
It goes for like 4 minutes of just watching them dance, and of course Mac gets involved.
Oh yeah, Mac
He
does
gets
dance.
up on the up on the counter and he starts dancing, and it keeps cutting to all the workers dancing.
and the FBI running
The
in
only
trying to get
people-
around everyone.
Yeah, the
FBI
only
are
people
probably
not
like,
dancing are these three like angry-looking ballerinas who are just like throwing shade at everyone. It's like
Yeah,
they
but
think they could dance.
the FBI come in and are just running around the scene. I found it really funny. Like, I bet the FBI came to this town and were like, "What is wrong with these people? They're all choreographed
no,
dancing
this
in
is
McDonald's."
just what happens at McDonald's. Every time I go to McDonald's, everyone breaks out in dance and song.
That is true. You do have a good time at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Eat at McDonald's.
that's when they have a massive chase scene as they chase Wheels and the three FBI guys just chase him
Through all the different supermarkets.
through all these shopping centers, through all this stuff. Eventually goes past the mum. Eventually gets back in the van and they drive off to find the parents.
Well, as they're driving just through the desert, they randomly see, oh, there's the billboard that has the same ad that Mac showed us. Oh, look, there's a giant wind farm. This must be where the parents are.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember how they
They
worked out.
also, I hope you remember, they also do break out a nice bag of Skittles.
No, there's
Because there's
constantly
always a
showing
good time for
Skittles.
Skittles.
Skittles and Coke are all these kids and the
Actually,
aliens
don't the
eat
kids
and drink.
start? What are the kids doing? They're doing something that's really annoying instead of just trying to find the parents. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're like sharing drinks and they're like,
Well, like
Coke's
the two
best.
adult kids are like, we should probably tell the government that this is happening. They'll be able to do something. But the kid's like, no, that the government are bad.
So eventually they go off the road after finding these horses that they drive next to. They find the
Stranger
parents in a
scene.
mine,
They drive with this herd of horses
right?
for like a couple minutes, just flying through the area,
But they eventually find the parents and everything.
dead
they're
in a
dead.
mine.
They're just laying on the floor.
And they look dead because their eyes don't move and
Right.
their faces don't move, so they're just lying there, fish face, dead.
But then they bring out the Coke and they're back alive.
Oh yeah, the minute the dad gets a sip of Coke, it jumps up, and because they're like super strong, the dad is like manhandling them and like pushing them out of the way to get more Coke and
Yeah,
stuff.
can I say I hate the dad?
The dad is freaky, so freaky, and he is out of all of them, he is the strangest one.
He is the dumbest
He
one.
actually scares. I don't know if it was part of the show or the little girl was actually terrified by
I'd be
this thing.
terrified.
But she's when they get back in the van, she's sitting across from him, and he keeps like reaching across and like pushing her out of the way and stuff, and she's like
Yeah.
screaming. It's like
They
just
have a
stop
really
him.
weird scene where they're like, no, you have to tell him that he has to sit with his arms folded. His arms have to be folded. But he keeps reaching out. No, stop it. You have to have your arms. But it's
Because he keeps like grabbing bits out of the car and smashing things.
well, he grabbed a tire iron and bent it around.
Yeah,
So he's
the little girl is
fucking-
terrified.
He's a goddamn demon.
Yeah,
He's a fucking monster at this
and
point.
most of the problems are caused by the father randomly reaching out, dragging his family along with him, and destroying things.
Yeah, you know this is what the problem is. He to me looks like a monster.
The father is straight up freaky looking. Like Mac and the rest of the family are weird, but the father is actually scary looking.
Well, what's the thing? It's like
Because it's the way they move. They've got these weird jerky movements.
but he's like chaotic evil, you know? I don't know. Like because the
he
way
destroys
he just bends,
everything around him.
the way he reaches for Coke and bends tire irons around, like with no care in the world. He honestly looks like the type who'll just reach out to the girl and just twist her head off.
Yeah,
That's
just to
the
see
sort-
what would happen.
Just
He's
to
got
do
the
it.
cold, dead eyes of a killer.
And
There's no soul in this creature.
But he's not doing it because he hates her or for any reason.
He
He'll
just wants
do
to
it.
see it happen.
I kept expecting him to eventually bring out that straw and try to suck the liquids out of the people. Just
Right?
stick it in their heads
Yeah.
and just suck them dry. But no, instead we get taken to a supermarket for
Yeah,
Coke.
And despite them saying to stay there, and Mac seems to understand what's happening. But Mac, the wife, and the other kid seem to understand that they like should be hiding.
Right.
But the dad just does not care.
I feel like the dad's an idiot. That's a
he
dumb
actually
alien.
looks like an idiot.
He really does.
This other car pulls up next to them. They're drinking a Coke. So the dad smashes through his window, smashes through their window, and snatches the Coke out of these people's hands, almost ripping their arms off.
Yeah.
And of course, they freak out and run away. And the dad decides to just wander off while dragging his family around.
Right. So they go into a supermarket where they find, of course, a lot of Coke. They go to it, knock it down, and then
You know what? That's not their fault. That Coke display was designed to fall over.
you just hate displays. That's your problem.
I want a display that actually stands up under its own weight. That thing just fell down the minute they breathed on it.
Well, let's get to So this is when
This is
a
when the
security
police
guard
turn up,
comes out.
and the police are freaking out.
Well, first off, it's a security guard, and he's saying, "Hey, why don't you just put the Coke down?" Security guard goes over, kind of calm, but then the dad steals the gun, like literally
just snatches the gun out of his hand.
off the
So now
guy's
you've
hand.
got this freaky looking alien waving a gun around, and he's just waving it around at people's
So people
faces.
come in and say, "Hey, can you put down that?" Like cops turn up and say, "Put the gun down," and he keeps aiming at them and like screaming and stuff.
So they drag everyone away.
Right. So then we go outside the shopping center, and then
I don't
This
get.
is
I think the
insane.
families start to pack things into the van. Like the
Do they?
aliens are just insane. They're crazy.
the
I don't know
dad's
what they
into-
want.
The dad's got a gun, and so far the cops haven't shot anyone. Right. So in the US cut, the cops don't actually shoot anyone, and what happens is Wheels goes towards them, but then the alien dad turns around and starts shooting at the cops.
Now,
Oh, wait,
I don't know if
wait.
I think that
No, he
with the-
also
yeah.
blows up the supermarket.
was that him. I thought that was a
Yes.
cop who hit that. Okay.
No, that's behind him.
So
He blows up stuff in the supermarket as well with his like alien power. He blows up shit in the supermarket and starts shooting at the cops
Anyway,
first.
I couldn't say I thought it was a cop, but maybe it was
No,
him.
there's two sides that also have stuff blowing up.
Yeah,
But the side with the cops also starts have stuff blowing up because he just used randomly the aliens will just blow shit up with their mind or something.
Yeah. Anyway, the fuel pump gets hit and there's a big explosion. You see the aliens engulfed in a fireball, and the
Wheels
boy
gets pushed over.
Wheels gets knocked down, and everyone runs over and is like, Wheels is dead.
Actually, I do love them opening fire on the aliens finally. Like they
Fine.
deserved.
Like, yeah, they should be killed.
They shot at the cops. Just insane.
Of course, the aliens aren't harmed by the giant explosion.
That's
Vacuum,
where I thought
yes,
they were
but a
demons.
giant explosion, no. They walk out of the fire, and the dad's like still holding the gun.
I
and
wrote
stuff.
that
They
down.
look
I wrote
terrifying.
that down. I said demons are aliens because they're walking out of flames, shooting at cops. They are
Their eyes
demons.
never close.
They are pure demons.
So they come together, and of course, they use their magic powers to heal the boy. Thank God they have every magic power ever,
Now,
apparently.
can we talk about the other cut, the Japanese cut?
Yeah, so there is a Japanese cut. I don't know if it's the original and they changed it afterwards or something, but what changes is as Wheel is heading towards the aliens, trying to protect them, one of the police jump across the car, slips, and shoots Wheel straight through the chest.
Yeah.
And then you see his chest like explode. Oh, it's brilliant. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, up till then, the cops have been actually really reasonable in this film, so they didn't want to,
Like they're
show...
freaking out, but they're not opening fire for no reason.
And I think that's the thing. If you want to do an ad for McDonald's, you also don't want to, vilify the cops. You
Yeah.
know, that seems like a really poor move. So
Were
I
the
understand
cops
why they
dressed
changed it.
in the same colors as the McDonald's employees, like green and gold?
I can't remember.
Was
No, I
that
think they were
deliberate,
dressed as
or was it
cops.
just they were cops? Okay.
So now the aliens have saved him. Then suddenly we just get a cut, and bam!
And it's got the FBI guy running again, except he's running into somewhere in LA. I've seen the building a lot of times. I guess it's like City Hall or something.
Yeah, because they're getting sworn in for the citizenship.
Yeah,
Apparently, that's all cool.
they're becoming U.S. citizens.
They're wearing McDonald's uniforms. I
They're
think the kids
wearing
are.
clothes. The kid is wearing a Mac Kids T-shirt.
Yeah.
They get into a car with wheels and they drive off. And these
the
are
mum's
these are
dressed as
creatures.
The
Jackie
mum's dressed
Onassi or
as
something.
Jackie Kennedy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the little pillbox hat and everything, and they're perfect American family. They love McDonald's. They got a pink Cadillac. They drive off with this poor
That's what drove
wheelchair
me.
kid in the back.
No, he wasn't in it.
Yeah, he gets him with them.
Was he?
Yeah, for some reason. That would terrify me. They can barely walk, and you've put your disabled kid in a car with them. And the dad is driving. And
This last scene is really what scares me
The-
the most out of the movie.
Oh,
It's so weird.
is it that terrifying bit as they're driving off and a giant bubble turns up and goes, "Don't worry, we'll be back in the next movie."
That's so bad. No, it's
Spoilers, there is no second movie.
just such a weird twist. Yeah, they become citizens. It's like, yeah, they should have gone to the cops in the first place. Why were they even running away? The FBI
doctor
agents
and the
weren't even
FBI
bad.
agent, the scientist who never says anything, and the FBI agent seem to like them.
Yeah, they helped them. It's very confusing. It's
Yeah.
a very confusing ending. It's because they wanted a nice happy ending for them to sell the toys.
I
They
wonder
didn't want the toy to be terrorist dad.
what would the sequels have been like? Would it have been them like trying to live in America?
Yeah.
And I'm guessing the family all go to work at like the dad goes to work at the Coke bottle plant, the mother goes to work as a cashier at McDonald's, and the wheelchair kid lives with them for some reason.
Maybe they could deal with like bullying or something. That could be the
Yeah.
moral of the movie, to deal with bullying or bullying people who look different, you know? That would have
Yeah.
been an easy moral to go for. You know? I'm just saying, McDonald's, we love you. And we're thinking if you do want to do that sequel, we're open, you know? We're open for throwing out
watch
ideas.
It, but
I'd
it's
watch
just-
it.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to watch this movie, first off,
It's on
yes,
YouTube.
It's a good movie. Is it? Did we watch it on YouTube?
I think so, didn't we?
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, so first off, it's on YouTube.
I think it is, yeah.
So second off, honestly, yeah, It doesn't feel like a very long movie. There's a few different
It's
scenes
pretty
with
entertaining.
music.
It's if you don't feel like watching the whole thing, find clips on YouTube of at least the McDonald's scene and
The aliens running.
and the alternate cut of the wheelchair kid getting
Every
killed,
time the aliens run, it's so funny. But I
or
would
any
say
of the Paul Rudd bits from Conan.
definitely
Yeah.
a movie that you can watch. It's so good, it's bad. So bad, it's good.
I actually
For
think there's
sure.
a Mystery Science 3000 of it as well.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a so bad, it's good. 100%.
It's entertaining, yeah.
Very entertaining film. If you want to do a drinking game, here's the drinking game rules for you. Drink anytime you see Coke, Macca's, or Skittles.
You will die within 10 minutes.
Only one. Like, if you have, like, 50 Coke cans in the same scene, don't.
Oh, okay.
What I mean is, like, if it appears in that scene.
Still, you wouldn't last like half the film.
I
doing
think
that.
it's perfect. I think it's just spaced enough that this is
Every
the perfect
Big Mac
drinking
reference.
game
The
movie.
number of times they talk about
No,
how
you have
great
to have
and how much
McDonald's.
they want to go and get a Big Mac.
You have to have McDonald's in the scene.
I think that should count.
You know, but I think you could get rather drunk, and it's a good scene. It's a good movie to do that too. I
Alright.
believe. So yeah, I would highly suggest watching this movie. Any final words?
No, I enjoyed
No?
it as well.
Yeah, I might go out now. I'm gonna get McDonald's, get some Coke, and wash it down with some Skittles. Thanks for listening to the end of the reel. If you know anyone else who is a fan of good bad movies, share this podcast around to them. Sharing is the best way to help promote our podcast.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye bye.